Right now, the City Plan Commission sending their recommendation to the full council, taking a vote tonight on Edgewood's now controversial master plan.
And from the top down, changes are being made within the Wisconsin National Guard. We'll have the latest on this developing story straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us tonight. If you've stepped outside over the past few hours, you know it is noticeably colder outside right now.
Temperatures started falling off this afternoon, and they are going to keep dropping overnight. Let's go right to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our first alert forecast.
Well, Charlotte, now it's the cold air that's really starting to move in after a band of snow showers moved through much of southern Wisconsin. Although it wasn't as bad here as it was farther out to the west across Iowa. That band of snow caused a 50-car pileup around Des Moines, but you can see how that band really weakened as it pushed through southern Wisconsin. But behind that band of snow, the temperatures really dropped off. Our high today, 41 in Madison. Look where we are now, 22 degrees, and to our west, temperatures are already in the teens, and wind chills are dropping into the single digits above and below zero. So by tomorrow morning, look for temperatures to drop to around 10, with wind chills as cold as 10 below zero. Even though we'll have sunny skies tomorrow, our high temperature will only top out at 18. Be very cold for Wednesday as well, but as we warm up toward the end of the week, there'll be some chances for snow. I'll have the details and weather in a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thanks. So far, we've avoided this. People in Duluth and Superior once again digging out from another snowstorm. That's 3 of them now, just within the last couple of weeks. As of tonight, according to the National Weather Service, that area got an additional 6.7 inches of snow overnight and this morning.
As the temperatures drop and we get into the true December weather, be sure to download our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. Live road conditions and local forecasts, all for free in your app store of choice. New tonight, the Madison Plan Commission has voted to leave Edgewood's master plan in place.
So that essentially upholds the agreement that prohibits the college and high school from hosting nighttime sporting events at its field. This paves the way now for a full council vote. It was upheld on a hand vote. A city attorney says even though the master plan was upheld tonight, the city council still has the final say.
To find that the only way to protect the public welfare in this district, in this neighborhood, is to require a master plan that the city did not initially require and still doesn't require in any other district, I think I struggle with that.
The master plan established a legal framework for future negotiations among the 3 Edgewood institutions and the 2 adjacent neighborhoods, with a 10-year time frame to give certainty to all parties so everyone could plan their lives around what they could reasonably expect to happen.
Now, there's also still pending legal action in the case. Edgewood filed a religious discrimination suit against the city back in August, arguing it is the only high school and college in Madison that is not allowed to host night games. If the master plan were to stay in place, that legal suit will likely move forward. And in a statement tonight, Michael Elliott, president of Edgewood High School, writes, in part, quote, "From the start, Edgewood has simply asked for fair and equitable treatment for our student athletes. We look forward to the full council vote on January 7th.
Big changes are coming to the Wisconsin National Guard after the governor announced today the general is resigning. This follows a 6-month-long investigation into how the Guard handles sexual assault reporting, including retaliation. Amy Reed shows us what this report said and what this means for our state military.
Governor Evers called for General Don Dunbar's resignation after this report on the investigation came out. In 88 pages, it details several ways the Wisconsin National Guard failed sexual assault survivors in just about every stage of the process.
Governor Tony Evers ordered top-to-bottom changes at the Wisconsin National Guard today, following the release of an 88-page report that goes into where the Guard went wrong in handling allegations of sexual assault and harassment. In it, investigators referenced a number of gaps and deficiencies in sexual assault prevention programs, including policies that hadn't been updated since 2013, making them non-compliant with current federal law. Investigators noted the Guard usually conducted its own investigations and often left victims and others involved in the program with inadequate care and support, which they noticed. One victim said she was treated like the subject of an investigation. Her involvement had her flagged, and frustrated with the lack of support she got, she left the service as soon as her term expired without traditional military recognition and with her case unresolved. Today, lawmakers supported those victims. U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin called for action, saying the failure of leadership, wrongdoing, and lack of accountability that has been uncovered demands change at the Wisconsin National Guard. Evers is delivering on that call, issuing an executive order that demands implementation of the 21 suggestions investigators gave the Guard, including a corrective action plan that gets protocol up to date with the laws. Saying today, our service members deserve to be safe and supported while carrying out their important mission.
Another demand the governor made was to establish an office that would handle sexual assault, harassment, and retaliation. All of this is also scheduled to be reviewed again next year to make sure those changes have led to improvements.
The Waukesha South High School student who pointed a pellet gun at officers leading to a police shooting is now facing 5 charges, including 1 felony. 17-year-old Tyrone Smith was shot after officers say he ignored their commands. An 11-year veteran with the Waukesha Police Department fired 3 shots. Smith was hit twice in the arm, once in the leg. Smith was charged with making terrorist threats, possession of a dangerous weapon at school, among other charges, and he's set to appear back in court on December 17th. And in Oshkosh, the school resource officer who shot the student who stabbed him last week has been released from the hospital. This video, posted on Theta Care's Facebook page, Officer Michael Wissink was given a surprise police escort home this morning. A 16-year-old was arrested on charges of attempted first-degree intentional homicide.
A date has been set for a meeting to determine whether tens of thousands of state employees will get a 2% raise. The raise passed the legislature's Finance Committee in May, but the Joint Committee on Employment Relations still has to approve it by the end of the year. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos and Senate President Roger Roth have set a meeting date for December 18th. In Washington, House Democrats plan to announce their articles of impeachment into President Trump tomorrow morning, pushing forward with their impeachment inquiry following a contentious hearing today. Republicans argued Democrats just want the president out of office. Democrats say the president abused his power and obstructed justice.
President Trump used the power of his office to pressure and induce the newly elected president of Ukraine to interfere in the 2020 presidential election for President Trump's personal and political benefit.
There is no indication of bribery, extortion, or other illegal conduct. The call is not the sinister mob shakedown that some Democrats have described.
Today's hearing was particularly contentious, with lawmakers frequently sparring. Republicans repeatedly challenged Chairman Jerry Nadler about how he was conducting the hearing. The full House could vote on impeachment before Christmas.
At least 5 people were killed and more are missing and feared dead after a volcanic eruption in New Zealand. It happened at a popular tourist spot, one of the country's most active volcanoes. The eruption sent plumes of smoke and ash shooting into the air. First responders rescued dozens of people by boat and helicopter. Geologists had warned of recent seismic activity. The Roman Candle Pizzeria closing 2 of its 4 locations around Madison. The owner says staffing shortages have made it clear that the locations just can't function like they used to. The Fitchburg and Monroe Street locations will be closing this month, but the original locations here for almost 15 years now on Willie Street and on Parmenter Street in Middleton will remain open. Just 2 days ahead of its grand opening of its first location in Wisconsin, Lou Malnati's Pizzeria has already announced its 2nd location in the state. This one will be added in Brookfield. It'll be the chain's first full-service restaurant in Wisconsin. We don't have an official opening date just yet. Its first location in Fox Point opens on Wednesday.
The Badgers are headed to the Rose Bowl, in case you didn't know. And if you were thinking about going to cheer them on, there are several package deals available right now. The Wisconsin Alumni Association and the Burkhalter Travel Agency are both offering a number of travel packages. Prices range from $1,500 to $3,800, depending on which deal you get. For more details on what is being offered and to book tickets, you can find a link at channel3000.com. A 6-year-old boy from Port Washington got a special send-off celebration at Milwaukee's Mitchell International Airport today. Brantley Cram has a rare type of cancer, and he wished to go to Disney World. So Make-A-Wish Wisconsin not only granted that wish, but they gave him a limo ride to the airport. And as the aircraft taxied to the runway, fire engines sprayed the plane with water as well.
Pete Frates, the man who inspired the Ice Bucket Challenge, has died. His online challenge had millions of people dunking ice-cold water on their heads and donating in the fight against ALS. The ALS Association said in a 2-month period alone, it had received $115 million in donations. Pete Frates was 34 years old.
Still ahead tonight, with the holiday season comes that temptation to overspend.
When we come back, we'll break down the best ways to create a budget you'll actually stick to avoid that spending hangover.
Keep
'Tis the season for giving and overspending. Experts say the average shopper will spend more than $1,000 for Christmas. That's 4% more than last year.
News 3 Now's Josh Sprider has more on how you can ring in the new year free of holiday debt.
You wait for January, and then it hits, and you're going, oh, what did I do? You know, it's like a hangover.
Sue Peck just couldn't stand to look at her family's finances after Christmas.
For me, it was always this like underlying like, what's going to happen at the end of all of this? Because I still have 2 more weeks and I still have all these people that I need to buy things for. And
so she decided to make a change. She and her husband started tracking their spending to avoid that holiday spending hangover.
we really plan it out for the entire year, saying over the course of the year, this is what we would like to spend on gifts. And this is going to include birthdays, holidays, and anniversaries.
When you go back to thinking about what you were doing before you were doing all this, what comes to mind? Like when you think about not budgeting?
Not budgeting. I mean, it was kind of fun because you're just spending money, right? But for me, there was always this stress in the back of my mind, like, well, how much has this added up to?
It's really, really important to make a budget and try and stick to it.
Marketing specialist Kristen Utek says right away you should figure out who you're going to buy for and how much you're going to spend for each of those people.
It's super easy to put a bunch of stuff on your credit card, and then January comes, you get your credit card bill, and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect to spend that much. So trying to pay cash only during the holiday season can also be really helpful.
Just look at this list.
The best way, she says, make a list and check it twice.
Keep track of how much you're spending. Keep all the receipts, and on a regular basis, write those on your budget so you do know how much that you have spent as you're going.
Online shopping is usually your best option if you're looking for a quick and easy deal. She says you should also keep an eye out on retailers' Facebook pages where they often post special offers you can only get with a certain code.
People often look for the lightning deals on Amazon, which can sell out in minutes or hours, but those are usually the best deals.
If you're still worried about spending, get creative.
You could give the gift of service to someone, like I'll help you with dog watching, or I'll babysit. You can use reward miles. You can use bonus incentives, look for the best deals. So there's a lot of other things that we can do when we're looking at holiday gift giving.
Utek says it is crucial to save up all year long. So find the best way for you to budget. For Sue, that's using the app Good Budget, where she can manually keep track.
We feel much more comfortable on a daily, monthly basis. We know exactly where our money is going. And going into the holiday season, we did buy a couple of things on Black Friday. We did buy a couple of things on Cyber Monday, but we didn't go too overboard because they were definitely things that we had in mind.
Happy shopping. This is Josh Sprider for News 3 Now.
Sue Peck recently started her own business that focuses on budgeting and finances because she wants to help others cut down on their financial stress.
And you can read up on more of her tips and tricks at channel3000.com. So with a cold snap arriving already, really, there are some people mobilizing to protect our most vulnerable residents in our community. The Beacon Day Shelter, open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, is adding more volunteers these days. More hot coffee available. Hot meals will continue to be served. Also, the overnight shelters have declared a cold weather emergency. That means anyone who needs a place to go will be able to get in tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night as well. That's regardless of how long you've already been there. Typically, homeless residents can only use the shelters for 90 days a year, but that is waived during these cold weather emergencies. They also have a shuttle transporting people from Beacon over to those overnight shelters as well. Gary, of course, keeping a close eye on how cold we're going to see this weather get in the days ahead, Gary.
Well, maybe the saving grace for us is that we didn't get any accumulating snow here. Otherwise, it'd be even colder. But there's snow on the ground to our north and west, and as that continues to let the cold air come across, we're going to see very cold conditions. Now, watch this band of snow move from Iowa into Wisconsin and Illinois. That band caused some whiteout conditions in the area around Des Moines, Iowa, and contributed to a 50-car pileup. But see how it just kind of fell apart as it moved into southern Wisconsin? This is the time lapse from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam platform, starting out with fog this morning, and then you see the fog lift, and then you'll watch this little burst of snow for about maybe 10 minutes, right around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then after that it moved on, and skies actually started to have a few breaks in the overcast as we headed towards sunset. 3 things you need to know in the forecast. course, tomorrow and Wednesday are going to be very cold. High temperatures only in the teens, nighttime low temperatures, single digits to around 10 degrees and wind chills down to 10 below zero in the morning. Thursday will be cloudy and not as cold. Might see a little bit of light snow or some flurries as the warmer air moves in. And then better chance for some light snow on Saturday, and it'll turn colder in the afternoon as a storm system develops just to the east of us. High temperatures tomorrow and Wednesday well below the average high of 32, then back up close to normal on Thursday and above normal for Friday and the early part of the day on Saturday before temperatures fall off. Then a little bit below normal for the early part of next week. Temperatures right around normal for Wednesday and Thursday, but next week should be pretty quiet weather-wise. And the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center calling for above normal temperatures across much of the eastern two-thirds of the country. The highest probabilities just to our south and west, but about a 45 to 50% chance of above normal temperatures here. Precipitation chances expected to be above normal for much of the country, but not by a very high probability. It looks like we'll just see some light weather systems moving on through, not a lot of precipitation. The Albany Act Today shows a high of 41 degrees. That was earlier today, but then the cold front came through, and the low temperature is 22. That's where we are right now. A couple of flurries even being reported at the airport. Winds out of the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. That drops our wind chill to 10 degrees. High temperatures today, lower 40s in southern Wisconsin, 30s to our north and west. But to the north and west, temperatures didn't get out of the single digits in the eastern Dakotas, and now those temperatures are below zero. You can see we're at 22 here in Madison, but La Crosse is at 17. Minneapolis now down to 2 degrees. You factor in the winds, and we're seeing wind chills now in the teens to near 20 below zero across parts of northern and western Minnesota. In fact, wind chill advisories in effect for much of North Dakota and the northern half of Minnesota, north and west of the Twin Cities into tomorrow morning for wind chills. It could get down to 25 to 35 below zero. Weather track shows the upper level winds right now from the west. That scooted that band of snow out pretty quickly, but it's also shifting to the northwest, to our west, and that means the colder air is going to start coming down from Canada and following in behind another cold front. So look for those temperatures to stay only in the teens over the next couple of days. Forecast for the overnight hours, cloudy skies will gradually turn clear toward morning. Low temperature dropping to 10, but wind chills by morning could be down to 10 below zero in spots. For tomorrow, look for mostly sunny skies, but a much colder day. High temperature not getting out of the teens at a high of 18. Future track, temperatures dropping to around 10 by early morning. Single digits to our north and west as the skies clear out. Tomorrow, even though we'll have sunshine for much of the day, high temperatures only in the upper teens. Tomorrow night, we drop back into the single digits. Some clouds passing to the south, but wind chills still down to 10 below zero, and then high temperatures only in the teens again for Wednesday. The extended forecast, though, calls for highs back in the 30s for Thursday and Friday. Saturday is a transition day, high of 34 early with falling temperatures and some light snow. Temperatures early next week, probably in the mid-20s to around 30 degrees, but notice not a lot in the way of precipitation. There may be a couple of flurries toward the end of the week.
So just solidly cold temperatures.
Just for a while.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Gary. Badger running back Jonathan Taylor will not be making travel plans for New York City this weekend. Stick around. We'll explain next in sports.
News 3.
1,909 rushing yards, second in the nation by 27. An FBS high, 26 total touchdowns, and becoming the 7th player ever to rush for at least 6,000 yards. Not enough for Badgers junior running back Jonathan Taylor to receive a Heisman Trophy invite. LSU quarterback Joe Burrow, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields, Oklahoma quarterback Jalen Hurts, and Ohio State defensive end Chase Young, your finalists. Taylor still has a chance for some postseason hardware. He's in the running to win his 2nd straight Doak Walker Award, given to the nation's best back. He'd be the first to repeat since Arkansas's Darren McFadden in 2006 and 2007. It's sort of like the Heisman Trophy for centers, the Remington Trophy. And Wisconsin's Tyler Biadasz is one of 3 finalists. The junior has started all 40 games he's played in his Wisconsin career. He's also a finalist for the Outland Trophy, given to the nation's best interior lineman. College Football Award Show Thursday at 6 on ESPN. The Wisconsin volleyball team made short work of Illinois State and UCLA to advance to the Sweet 16. Did not look like a team that's looking ahead to a possible Final Four bid. Head coach Kelly Sheffield said earning the Big Ten title helped shape the team's mentality of living in the now.
You get in the NCAA tournament, there was a little bit of familiarity with having to turn that around so quickly. You know, the looking ahead, you don't. This conference, any single team is going to be able to beat you, and so if you're not locked in on every match that's in front of you, you're going to get burned.
The Bucks riding a 14-game winning streak, a half game behind the Lakers for the best record in the league at 20-3. Tonight, the Deer hosting the Orlando Magic, who've won a measly 4 straight games. Giannis and company in the Cream City jerseys. Wesley Matthews hanging out by himself. Catch, shoot, splash. Bucks up by 17. And you can leave the Greek Freak all alone. He's going to make you pay this year. 32 points, 15 boards, 8 assists. Magic hanging around, though. Under a minute to go, Eric Bledsoe turned 30 today. To Giannis, to Chris Middleton. Buckets. Bucks win 110-101. That's 15 straight wins. The franchise record is 20. The Wisconsin basketball team told us they would play more wide open now that the offense doesn't run through Ethan Happ. Enter Kobe King, second on the team in scoring at 12 points per game, and seeing results now that he's keeping his foot on the offensive gas.
Well, Gary's bag, you really feel how the temperature has dropped.
Well, take a look where we are now. That just gives you some idea. We're at 41 for a high today. We're down to 22 right now. Temperatures on the teens to our west with wind chills. Single digits above zero, barely. In fact, Prairie du Chien down to 2 below zero right now. And by morning, look for low temperatures around 10 with wind chills to minus 10. 18 for high tomorrow, 16 on Wednesday. Alert days in the forecast for the very cold temperatures next couple of days. Some light snow chances on Thursday and upper 30s for Friday. Next week, though, looking pretty quiet after a system moves out of here Saturday, and we see falling temperatures Saturday afternoon.
Gary, thank you, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.